Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. A lovely, absolutely gorgeous Wednesday morning in Austin, Texas. I'm your host, Brad Merriman. To my right, the lovely, the one and only Sally deFries. Hey, Sal.
Hey, just putting on some lip balm. Sorry.
What's
It's
up?
beautiful.
Beautiful.
But this is the issue. Okay. It's
Hit me.
like 40 in the morning,
Mhm.
and then it'll be 80 in the afternoon.
Sure will.
And I just don't have that bandwidth with like my wardrobe right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I almost wore like fleece lined boots today.
No, because the issue is like, okay, when I'm normally working, I just wear scrubs.
Yep.
And those things are paper thin. So I'm getting
Mhm.
out of my car and like it's freezing.
Right.
I'm not going to like go full parka. It's 40 degrees.
Can't do that.
And by the time I leave, it's 80. I'm not going to like walk with the coat outside. So it's just putting me in a pickle, you know?
It's just one of those things where Austin has so many great things about it. The weather, it might be a bottom 10% city in the country.
I don't think that's true because I think
it's
a lot of people would
100% true.
argue that like when it's 70 in January, that's like a pretty.
Yeah. My problem with January weather, it's not crisp in 70. It's like
Yeah,
a weird,
is.
it's like a weird, humid, cold
Okay. Brad,
68.
whatever.
It is
I just
gross.
don't know so much about geography.
It's not even geography.
No, actually, I don't really. I mean, whatever. It's fine. I'm currently wearing sweatshirt. I'll probably be in bike shorts and a bra later on.
Mhm.
So,
I wore a nice puffy vest in, nice quilted vest. Won't need that in about an hour and a half. And then it's 78, but everybody wants to hear about the weather, right? In Austin, Texas.
yeah. No, but it is making it whatever allergies are going on right now. I have like a tickling in my throat.
Sally, it's been 3 weeks for me.
And I felt so shitty yesterday. I had such a bad headache from like maybe it's the ragweed. I don't know. I took 2 Benadryl
Ooh.
after we put Fritz to bed, and I passed out at 7:45.
Oh my gosh.
So I got like I think 13 hours of sleep.
So
well,
you
no,
are
12 hours of sleep.
you are rested and ready to go this morning.
The thing is, I don't feel that rested.
Benadryl sleep is different. I feel like Benadryl sleep is like the NyQuil groggy. You wake up. If you have to be anywhere in the morning,
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
I still feel like foggy. Not like hungover or anything, but
Mhm.
yeah, I have that fogginess. So
It's-
hopefully my answers are good today. But I also feel like my voice is really nasally right now.
It's fog city. I've been congested. I don't feel it's not sick. It's just allergies, and it's
Yeah.
been that way for 3 weeks. And I've heard that it's like this is my 3rd fall, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
No, oh my God, my 4th fall. September 2019, 2020, 2021, this is my 4th fall in Austin, Texas. Holy shit.
Okay.
Even though I've lived, yeah. That's
Because it was
that's
you
wild.
moved here in
Yeah.
the fall.
I moved here last week of September 2019. Oh my God, that is throwing me for a loop. And they say it takes 3 or 4 years for an outsider to be affected by fall allergies and like cedar fever kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It is officially kicking my ass.
Right now, the ragweed, fall elm, and just trees are high.
just trees.
I don't know. Like, okay.
Doesn't make sense. I'm not used to fall allergies at all. So like spring, I get wrecked and have always gotten wrecked by it, especially at upstate New York. But fall's new to me.
Yeah. Cedar fever is really fun.
Super fun. This podcast is pretty fun too. And if you want to listen to this podcast, give us a subscription on iTunes, follow on Spotify, hit the hotline number, leave a voicemail, 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Hit up the news store, washmedia.shop. A bunch of cool stuff there, a bunch of new stuff coming. Keep an eye out. Always, always, always in the news store. And hit up our new YouTube to see our beautiful faces. Some YouTube clips kind of popping. Good for the Mail-In Podcast.
I mean, this isn't my like number one look, I would say.
No.
I'm a little puffy. But I'll try to start bringing it from now on.
People
to
are big
YouTube.
fans of Sally's cheekbones. Whatever the lighting is, your cheekbones are always popping on
Thank
the
you.
Mail-In Podcast.
Appreciate that.
That is youtube.com/ Mail-In Podcast. Want to get right into it, Sal?
Let's do it.
What is up, y'all? What is the statute of limitations on Venmo requests? Let's say you and your friends all went to a destination wedding over a year ago. You settled up on a splitwise within 2 weeks of the wedding, and one friend who organized a large group dinner did not input any of her expenses into splitwise. It's been over a year now, like I said, and the friend group just got hit with Venmo requests. Better yet, we got hit with them. Not only did we get hit with them, she canceled them and then sent us a new higher Venmo request because she, quote, did the math wrong after having a full year to do it. This friend also lives with her parents who pay all of her bills, and her dad just bought a $500,000 car. Not that it matters, but it's adding to my annoyance here. Would you pay this Venmo request or donate the amount to charity just out of principle?
Okay. First of all, what's the $500,000 car?
Right? Like a Bugatti? I don't even know what cars are $500,000. I feel like
is a Lamborghini $500,000?
Great question. Once you get above Jeep, your Lincoln Navigators at the high 90s, I'm just like, okay, that it's $1 million. Doesn't even register.
Okay. I don't need to be driving around a $500,000 car. Can you imagine the insurance on that? Anyway, okay. The statute of limitations, I would say, is it really should be 2 weeks, but I'm gonna give people the benefit of the doubt and say a month.
Ooh. Okay.
Here's why. Because I think some people forget and then they're paying their credit card bill and then they're like, oh shit, I had that group dinner. Month is really late. A month is really late.
A very generous amount of time. But it's also
a group trip, I'm almost gonna give you a month because while shit's happening, then you're flying home, you're unpacking, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've answered so many of these questions, but the best policy is the second you pay for the bill, send out the Venmo request.
Nobody likes doing it, or nobody likes paying it right at the table because it's all oh, okay, fine. But that's the best way to do it. Klein is really good about this.
I've tried to be better about when we have a group dinner, just being like, hey, what do I owe you? Actually, that reminds me. I got to send a Venmo request to a friend from somebody. And I just actually, while this got brought up, I bought some tickets to a comedy show and sent a little reminder. Oh, you haven't paid yet.
Who are you seeing?
Heather McMahon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I think on a group trip, 2 weeks is reasonable. 1 month is pushing it, but allowed.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, if you're over a month, say you're 2 months out and you're like, oh my God, you guys, I totally forgot. You got to really, even in a month, you got to send a text explaining why you forgot.
There has to be a lot of
so sorry. Yeah. I totally forgot about this. Paying my credit card bill now.
Mm-hmm.
If you wouldn't mind Venmoing me, I realize it's a month later. My bad. That's what you say when you're a month out.
Yep.
A year out's egregious, and she should not expect anybody to pay her back. A year out, you went a whole year without that money.
A whole year. I think the statute of limitations is 2 months. I don't. Well, I mean,
I'm sticking with a month. A year is too far. I think you leave it on red.
And
then just never pay her.
Just never pay her. Yeah, I think I probably don't pay. I'm like, you had a year to do. I don't know. Then I say that, and then if I got a year, a Venmo request right now from a year ago, I'd be like, I'd let it sit there for a year and then pay it. Then maybe that's what you do.
I actually like that move.
You pay it a year later.
I think leaving people on red on Venmo is a really shitty thing to do.
It is.
But
unless it's your bookie. And then you just wait till you win the next week, and then you get the canceled Venmo request. Just kidding. Sorry.
I don't know anything
blank
about
beep beep. That was my bookie's name.
Yeah, I mean, if my friend sends me out a year later Venmo request, I'm talking shit about them, being like, you're an idiot.
Of course. My whole method is I like to be a points guy in certain situations, and I am always pretty much a 2-day Venmo guy.
Yeah.
So group trip ends on a Sunday. You all fly home, whatever. Monday is the regroup day. Tuesday is the budget, get your shit together. And a lot of the times, and I think credit cards do this on purpose, so you don't really know what your balance is. The pending charges.
Yeah.
where you're charged, $240 for dinner, and then the tip comes in 2 days later, and you're like, oh fuck, okay. So I wait till everything hits,
Right.
and
Which is
that
allowed.
always takes a couple days anyway, especially if you're get a dinner on a Friday night, and then it's like 2 non-business days, pending on Monday, hits on Tuesday afternoon, and you're like, okay, now I actually know how much I need to be reimbursed for.
Yeah.
Or you do it right at the table, like you said. But I'm a Tuesday guy.
I like the either leaving it on red for a full year and then paying her, or just donating it to charity. If she asks you, be like, "Oh, I gave that money to charity because you waited a year to request it."
Yeah, okay. So here's our answer: donate to charity, or just wait a year, let it sit there for a year.
Yeah,
I can't imagine how much do you think this is? It's probably a significant amount, I guess.
I mean, it's got to be like $100, right?
Oh, I would say. I would say
maybe
at least. Yeah, I was gonna say
anything
definitely.
less than $100. Okay, first of all, you need to eat the cost if it's been a year, but like, I don't know. This girl's an idiot.
Totally, and I see how she's, her family's very wealthy, and she lives with her parents. I can see how that's playing into this. I don't think you have don't let that play into it, because there's a lot of degrees of that stuff. But I don't know. I like our solution. So
I'm literally sending a request right now because I just got reminded of it.
Speaking of solutions,
okay,
I'm always looking for a solution for better hair. You know this, as I'm sure you are too. Your hair is lovely.
Thanks,
but it can always be improved upon. 80 million men and women in the U.S. experience thinning hair, Sally, yet it's still not openly talked about, which can make going through it feel scary and stressful, and that just adds to the problem. I know that firsthand, because when you start thinning, you get anxiety about thinning hair, it doubles down.
Yeah, because you just get anxious and then you worry about it all the time.
And that's why I'm turning to Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage for men and women. Sally, did you know that there are multiple causes of thinning hair?
Yes, I actually do know that.
Well,
right.
Nutrafol is the hair growth supplement that goes beyond genetics to target stress, hormones, nutrition, metabolism, aging, and lifestyle factors that may be impacting your hair. Thinning is different for men and women, and Nutrafol has multiple unique formulas for men and women to provide exactly what they need based on their biology and age. Every formula is physician formulated using natural medical grade ingredients for reliable results without compromises. It's something about it too. I've seen it in dermatologist's office. It is. We're not talking just some online brand here. This is the real. This stuff is legit.
Many people tout this for hair loss. A lot of women I know take it postpartum. Because there's not a lot you can do for postpartum hair loss, because it's like your hormones are getting messed up. But the best thing you can do is get your nutrients on track, right? So anything you're going to hit it with, the best thing you can do is make sure that your body's getting all the vitamins that are necessary to create healthy hair. So I know a lot of girls
after creating a human, you need to create healthy hair.
Correct.
Yeah.
Know a lot of girls who take Nutrafol.
Interesting.
For that. Yeah.
I've been off of a hair, supplement, I guess, for a while, but Nutrafol's getting me back on it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's absolutely an easy way to throw it in my routine, and you're good to go. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code MAILIN to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time, plus free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code MAILIN. Ready for the next one, Sal?
Yeah.
Brett, sorry this is so long. I really tried to cut it down. It's okay. It's not that long. Hey, Mail-In Crew. I have a tried and true question.
You want me to read it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I got this. I have a tried and true question. I'm just really upset about unrequited love. Requited love?
Unrequited.
Unrequited love. I'm a 24-year-old male, And about 8 months ago, I moved to a new city that's very popular for young people and postgrads. Could be Austin. I didn't know anyone other than 3 older girls that I went to college with. Here's the deal. I very quickly started hooking up with one of those girls. Shocker. And over the course of the next few months, I would quickly be integrated into the friend group. Here we go. While me and this girl started as a casual hookup, we started going on dates frequently and eventually staying over at each other's places 3 or 4 nights a week. Several times, I told her that I wanted to make things serious, and she told me she was not ready. When I would then try to end things to protect myself, she would say the right things to lead me to believe things would change and start moving in the right direction. After 7+ months of this relationship, I certainly fell in love with this girl. How could I not? But as of last week, it was too much of a give with so little consideration from my side of things or feelings that it had to end. My question, how do I deal with this heartbreak when the entire time I've been in this new city, I've been with her and literally all of my friends in this city are close friends to her? So the support system goes to her as well, leaving me to deal with it alone. Thanks, and Sal Gals, stand up. Shouts to the Sal Gals.
Love an unrequited love question.
Yeah, love, like this hits all the bases on unrequited love. Friend group, like being not on your side too, because you're too close to them. This hits like the not a two-way street thing, even though there was some hookup involved. This hits like she's like kind of was trying to keep him there.
Yeah.
But not.
This is just your classic unrequited love. Okay, so here's the thing. Nothing feels as lonely as being in love with somebody and them not loving you back.
Sure.
Plus, you've already got no friends. Sorry, dude. It sounds like he doesn't have any other friends.
Yeah.
Which sucks. And that only amplifies that. But I would argue that when you're in love with someone who doesn't love you back, it doesn't matter how many friends you have because you're so involved in that situation that you, even the support of your friends, like you tend to ignore. Or at least that's how I acted when I was in love with people who did not love me back. Because when your friends are being the voice of reason, being like, he doesn't like you. He's fucking you over. He ignores you for 2 weeks and then calls you again. Like all of those things you don't listen to because you're in love with the other person and you don't care. So just know that even though it feels like you don't have any friends, everyone who's in love with someone who doesn't love them back feels like this, even when they have friends to support them. But this really sucks. She sucks. I think people who get into relationships like this is why this exists all over the world and is the most classic thing ever, because everyone has been one of two parties. Okay. Everyone has been the person who has been in love with somebody who didn't love them back. That would be me. Everyone has been the person who led someone else on with no intention of ever dating them because it feels good to be loved, even though you don't want to give that person all of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been both.
Actually. Every single person has been one or the other. That is my new theory. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
But at least
men and women can't be platonic friends.
Yeah.
Best friends. And everyone's been on one side of unrequited love.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Which one's Randy, you think?
Randy's been in love with someone who doesn't love him back.
Oh,
he didn't even confirm that, but I could just tell by the facial expression.
Yeah. Sorry, Randy.
Okay. First of all, good on this guy for realizing his self-worth and getting out of it.
Well, that's my question is be like, are you right to cut it off completely?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because here's why. You have to.
Yeah, I guess you do.
When that's happening to you, there's so many moments of like self-realization where you're like, this is fucked up. I'm being led on. This person doesn't like me. We're never going to date. And you go through this emotion like on a cycle, depending on how long your cycle is. Mine was like every 2 weeks. But maybe yours is longer or shorter depending on what it is. But mine would be 2 weeks. It'd be like, we would hook up. I would like be like, I'm in love with him. ghost me. Totally ghost me. Like, then I'd be like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. He's a piece of shit. My friends are right. He does not like me. He doesn't care about me at all. I need to grow up. I've got to get my shit together. Moving on from him, whatever. And then
one text,
like drunk text Friday night, like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God, he loves me. Like,
so bad.
And then that cycle would repeat itself for 3 years, like, or whatever of college. It's really the only like getting over something like that is really difficult when you don't have some other thing like to push you towards it. So like
Correct,
you
yes.
move away from each other. You fall in love with someone else, which arguably is like probably the hardest thing to do because you're so infatuated with one person, you are very closed off to being into other people.
And you're comparing other people.
Right. To somebody you put on a pedestal and you're obsessed with. So the fact that this guy, and hopefully this is like the end. Hopefully he's actually been like, we're done, not continuing this anymore. You're never going to give me what I deserve, etc. Right? Hopefully that's it. Because hopefully this isn't him just doing it. And then like she's going to text him in 3 weeks, like around Thanksgiving, be like, I miss you for the holidays.
Do you want to come to our Friendsgiving?
Yeah. And he's going to give right back in. So to this guy, stay strong. She does not deserve you. I'm gonna say something from Tinks that I always love. They always come back, or their lives get worse. Okay,
ooh,
so
goodness.
she is guaranteed in a few weeks she's gonna come running back to you, or her life is gonna get infinitely worse. Okay, so you just gotta let that happen, and when she comes back, you just say nope, just cut it off. Be strong. Brett and I are going to be the friends that you need to tell you, fuck her, be strong. I'm sorry that you're going through this. Okay, that's all aside.
Karma's a cat.
Karma's a cat and my boyfriend and my hair, the breeze, my hair, whatever.
Right.
But the other part that sucks is all of your friends in the city are connected to her. So it's really hard for you to continue having friendships with people who are possibly taking her side. Although, to be fair, I have a feeling that many of her friends probably knew what she was doing, watched it happen, low-key felt bad for him, etc. I think it's not, okay, for me it's not like some horrible breakup where like one of them cheated and people have to take sides. This is like watching two friends hook up and be like, God, Sarah's never going to give him the time of day. Like
this is going to go poorly.
And then people can still be his friend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think he still reaches out to people, maybe just not one of the three girls that are the closest.
That was my one sort of devil's advocate. I was like, well, was there a diplomatic solution here that you could take where it's just like, if you can stomach it, can we be friends and you keep the friend group? I don't think in the case of like infatuation, that's possible. But if it was like, if you maybe you met somebody else, and that's the other point I wanted to make, is that is the solution, is one time, and two,
meeting someone else.
Meeting somebody else, or having somebody else to put that part of your brain, as John Mayer likes to say, like the part of your brain that's working like that, at least it's working. That's a good thing. And two, once that shifts onto somebody else, the previous situation seems to melt away quickly.
Yeah.
But
I think
if you don't want to stomach that in the near term with being like, hey, cool, let's just be friends. I'm just like, I'm friends with your group. I would like to continue that. You and I can be fine, and don't worry about it.
If I were him, I would reach out to the friends in his group that like he is closest with. One, to kind of like confide in and be like, this has been really difficult, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
This has been going on, if they don't know. And two, I would also reach out to the people who are like most distance from this girl, right? So like there's people in the group that she's not best friends with, right?
Sure.
Hang out with those people.
Yeah.
But I mean, then it also goes back to everything we say to everybody when they're moving to a new city about making new friends is like, okay, you're 24. It feels difficult to like make new friends. guess what? It feels difficult to make new friends at 33. It feels difficult to make new friends at 40. You just have to like honestly give no shits, have no shame, and just start texting people from work or somebody that you met through a mutual friend or join a softball league or whatever it is. Put yourself out there. No one ever has said to somebody like, see that guy Brett moved here like 4 autumns ago and he is trying to be friends with like people he doesn't know. Like what people? A weirdo. Yeah. No, people meet in all kinds of ways. And there's way less pressure because well, actually that's false. There's probably way more pressure than like finding a significant other and finding an adult friend.
Adult friends, man.
But the thing is like, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're like, oh, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not like you have a romantic interest in this person. That I think this is a 2-part question, but finding friends when you're an adult is really difficult.
Of course. And we talk about it all the time.
There's so many different phases of life. You're going to go through so many different types of friends. Who knows where you're going to find your next friend, but it's really important to be open and not let the insecurity, shyness, anxiety parts of your mind deter you from being open to just like hanging out with someone new.
Mm-hmm.
That could be said for both intimate relationships and friendships. But I think as when you're a kid, you don't give a shit about any of that. You just like go up to somebody and you're like, hey, like we're both wearing maroon. Like, let's go play.
Mm-hmm.
And then as an adult, all of the stuff that you've been conditioned to think starts creeping into your head. So then you're like sitting at a bar, your favorite activity, instead of like just striking up a conversation with the dude next to you, we're like, oh my God, like what if they're busy? Like what if they're working? Like what if they hate me? What if they hate redheads? What if they have too many friends? What if they like, we just start putting all this shit in our own head instead of just being like, hey, like, do you like that drink, man? Like, that's really easy. But we're our own worst enemy. We like keep ourselves from creating friends.
I agree. That's why I use the third party method.
Yeah.
Get the bartender involved in somebody next to you. Could be for approaching somebody too.
Yeah.
Always have a third party.
I mean, this is going to suck. It's going to suck getting over somebody. I think not being around her is probably the best option. I think picking the friends in the friend group that are least close to her or like understand your side to hang out with you one-on-one.
Yep.
And then just do the shit that we tell everyone, tell everyone about making friends in a new city, involved.
Saying yes, getting involved, getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of your
going out with somebody from work who like has the same interests as you, who has the same, who's the same age as you.
Getting a dog.
Yeah.
Making incredibly life-altering decisions like getting a dog or financially irresponsible things like buying a boat.
And like this all comes from somebody that has been there. And if someone told me right now, like if you told me, Brett, you're like, you got to go out and like make a new friend today.
Yeah.
I'd probably pee my pants. I mean, I'm going to just go about my day doing my regular shit, which today is going to be voting. I
got mine in yesterday.
Nice. Going to the dealership to get my tires checked and then going to the post office. And if you tell me like you have to make a new friend, get someone's number today, I'm just going to do what I normally do and just try to strike up conversations with people. Even if it's Phyllis, who's the voting person. Okay.
They're like, extremely nice people.
I'm going to just do the regular shit I do and then just start being open, which as somebody who is an introvert, I would used to consider myself an extrovert, but now I feel like I'm an introvert. That's really difficult for me.
Of course.
But if I had to do it, I would just do it.
You'd get it done.
Because you just have to remind yourself, like, every other person is walking through their life feeling the same shit that I'm feeling. Like, very few people are just confident enough to go up to somebody and be like, hey, I'm Brett. Like, want to, like, get a drink?
Can't do it. Mental block.
I think that's like 1% of people have that kind of confidence.
I probably, yeah. Just to have the
that's
straight
why
up, hey,
someone out is so hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, this sucks for this guy. I'm really sorry.
It is.
I will be here in your DMs if you need me to be your strong friend, being like, when she calls you, being like, do not answer.
Yeah. You're the best friend that blocks their number. They're just like, nope. They're out.
Because you know what? When I said you have friends, but you don't listen to them, that is true. But you do need someone who's like forceful.
You do. You need the friend that's not rooting for the rom-com situation.
But you know what? That could be too. That could be a long distance friend. It doesn't have to be. They don't have to be physically
they don't
present.
have to be right there.
Call one of your friends from college. Call your brother. Call your sister.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Like make them be the one who reminds you what you've been through the past 7 months.
Or maybe you pick up a hobby. Maybe that hobby might be grilling, if you're so inclined, or cooking. But if you want the best for that hobby, ButcherBox is your solution. Sally, ButcherBox takes the guesswork out of finding high-quality meat and seafood that you can trust. Simple as that. You don't need to go to the grocery store. Don't need to stand in line at the deli. Don't need to do all that. ButcherBox brings meat to your door. 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. They're all humanely raised with no antibiotics or added hormones. Easy as that. Get just what you want delivered right to your doorstep. Free shipping for the continental U.S. and no surprise fees. You can choose from a variety of box plan options, from curated to customized, and change your plan whenever you want. ButcherBox got me some turkey the other weekend.
Nice.
So good.
Delightful,
juicy. And that's the thing with turkey. It can get dry quickly. Everybody knows that. Not ButcherBox turkey. I did it up just right. Nice little turkey sandwich. Got me thinking about Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is around the corner, so get ButcherBox now. Enjoy a range of high-quality cuts that are hard to come by at the grocery store at an amazing value, plus exclusive member deals so you can save big on your favorite cuts. Recipe inspiration, guides, tips, and hacks so you can cook up mouth-watering meals are all a part of the ButcherBox experience. This summer, I was all over ButcherBox. I had a meat freezer full of stuff, and I hopped on the grill over my apartment complex all the time because it turns out grilling meat makes it taste better than just doing it in the oven or air fry, which are still good. But man, when you hop on the grill, do like ButcherBox steak tip kebabs? Unbelievable.
That sounds great.
Unbelievable. Shouts to ButcherBox for that. So this Thanksgiving, let ButcherBox help you out. The main course for Thanksgiving dinner can sometimes be a main source of stress. Not anymore. ButcherBox is offering our listeners free turkey with their first order. Again, sign up today at butcherbox.com/mailin and use code mailin to get one 10 to 14 pound turkey free in your first box. That's butcherbox.com/mailin and use code mailin to claim this deal. You're just getting a free Thanksgiving dinner started with ButcherBox. It's incredible.
That's incredible.
Let's do the next one, Sally. What's up, Brett and Sal? Love the podcast. Quick question about gifting for a significant other. Girlfriend and I are coming up on 1 year. Congratulations. She really loves this local jewelry shop where we live. I'm thinking of a custom piece for her, looking to include something special to us on the inside part of a bracelet or a necklace. Is 1 year too early for jewelry? I don't think it would be that weird, more of a really cool gift, but I don't want to be stepping out of line if this is something more focused for longer relationships. Thanks. What do you think about 1 year gifting jewelry?
I don't think this is a problem.
I think 1 year is probably the first point where it is.
I agree.
Cool.
I agree with that.
Like you're not ripping a 3-month necklace for Christmas type of thing.
Right.
Because that's still kind of the intro phase. But 1 year, I think, is definitely okay.
1 year's okay. Custom is cool. I personally always think never get her a ring that's not an engagement ring.
Oh,
that's my hard and fast rule about jewelry. Definitely. Give me whatever jewelry you want. If we're not engaged yet, don't give me a ring.
Yeah, I think that's rule number one.
Yeah.
I for what I like intuitively, I have that, like, don't do that unless it's an engagement ring too.
But like, as far as jewelry, okay, here's the other caveat though. Bless your little hearts.
Oh.
Okay. Men getting women jewelry.
Yeah.
Just like it's a sweet gesture. We love it.
You don't.
unless they specifically tell you, like, I like this, you got to tread lightly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have been party to too many of my friends getting jewelry from their significant others, boyfriends, husbands, etc., where they're like, I got this. It is hideous, but I have to wear it 4 times so that I can prove that I liked it.
Yeah.
Like, Will is smart enough now. Will rarely gets me jewelry. And the few times that he has, he's always knocked it out of the park because it's been something that I specifically wanted. Like, I was like, I want this ring. I'm currently wearing it, actually.
Very nice.
I want this bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I want these earrings. And he's gotten basically that. He also, the great thing about me is that I have sisters, so that when he did pick out my engagement ring, or any other jewelry, it's always gone through another sister. Been like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm going to get this for Sally. Thoughts? What do you think? Whatever. Don't think you can go at it alone based on, unless you're just like super in tune with what she wears jewelry wise.
Mm-hmm.
Jewelry is so specific, and it's something that people like wear every day, is basically a part of their personality. People are very specific about whether they want gold or silver.
Or rose gold or
Right. So
holy cow.
if you're going to spend money on something, and jewelry tends to be expensive, make sure it's something that she's going to like. And I know that that's hard for people who want to like surprise people with gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But getting a friend involved, being like, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you think she would like it? Is always very important, because you don't want to spend all this time, especially on a custom piece that she is going to get and pretend to like and then actually hate. And I hate to tell that y'all that's happening, but it is happening.
No, it is. And I'm sure I've been guilty of that in the past.
Yeah.
Like, as I've moved through relationships, gotten a lot better about being like, oh, this is not my call, but I will happily figure out how to still make it not a surprise, but like, still make it nice and fun. But it's also like, this has been vetted multiple times.
I don't know a single person that's like, he completely surprised me out of, left field with this piece of jewelry and I loved it.
Right.
Most of the time when people are getting jewelry, it's like shit they like, that they wanted, that they've already talked about. It's hard to, even if you know so much about your partner,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to be like, oh, she's never mentioned this, but I think it's going to go well.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's my only tip, is like, get someone else involved, or maybe just even ask her about it yourself.
Do you think the custom part here is cool at a year?
Yeah.
I think so too. I'm thinking like, it'll be a date or something on the inside of a
or like an initial,
or like a funny, like maybe they have a funny phrase that they've inside joke or something like that. I think that's cool at a year, but I think a year is probably the
minimum.
The minimum, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we nailed this one. 1 year minimum for nice jewelry. If you want to do like she loves a pair of earrings at the beach or something like that, and you did like a fun, expensive jewelry, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Did I have friends who got a pair of Kinder Scott earrings for Christmas from their boyfriend of 6 months? Yes, I did.
Sure, yeah, no doubt.
But like, think about, if you're giving a nice piece of jewelry,
I'm saying
it needs
custom,
to be,
yeah. Like if you're cracking mid triple digits here,
yeah,
with some sort of custom element, well, let's take it to a year.
Yeah.
Let's do the next one, Sally. Hello. So I grew up in a smallish town and recently reconnected with an old friend. I'm an old friend, Sally. He is single, and I am recently single. Here we go, Randy. I really like him, but we live 10 hours away from each other. He has said before that long distance is hard for him, but I wish he would give it a shot. I don't want to freak him out, but if things went well, I'd be willing to relocate in the next year or two. Since that convo where he mentioned long distance being hard, we've talked here and there, but not in a romantic way at all. What do I do if I like him, but I'm worried his feelings have changed, Sally?
Okay. I guess I kind of feel like she's getting ahead of herself.
We're getting way over our skis here.
But the other thing is she like worried that he's not into it because they live 10 hours away and he's like, I don't even want to like try to like romantically be into her because of long distance?
I mean, I think, yeah, but what I see here is that it's sort of like the shiny new toy effect.
Yeah.
She's recently single. It's kind of oh, this is where our man's from the last question is gonna get to this point where he's single and he's like, "Okay, I'm ready." He's gonna meet somebody, and there's gonna be a caveat. 10 hours away, doesn't align XYZ value-wise, doesn't, and but it's so tempting and so intoxicating that you're like, "Oh, I'll just move for this person."
That
And this
I
person's like, "Whoa, hold
Yeah.
on a second."
So I think that like my red flag here is that like they've talked only a couple times and never in a romantic way. So she's just like harboring a crush.
And they said, or she said, maybe they used to, be talking in a romantic way. Maybe some sexting going on here, Sally. But as soon as the long distance convo they had, that's when it stopped. The romantic stuff.
Okay.
So that's why I'm just like, I don't think he wants long distance. I don't, and now I'm nervous that she's going to try to um, solve that problem by moving.
I don't think she's trying to solve that problem. I think she's trying to say like we could start something and I'd be open to being in the same city as you.
Correct. And I just think he is like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Okay. So she has a crush
Yep, totally.
and if he were into you, he would make it work. That's all I have to say.
I
Like
think that's
if
the hard truth here.
were into you and he wanted to pursue something with you, even if he was scared of long distance relationships, he would keep talking to you in a romantic way and then just see where it goes.
I think that's the hard truth here.
This is what sucks about giving this kind of advice because it's like, what do you tell somebody to like just stop being attracted to somebody? But yeah, that's what's happening here.
Mhm.
If y'all had something going and then he's like, hey, I don't want anything long distance and now it's fizzled out, or if y'all didn't have something going but you've kind of reconnected and he's just slyly mentioned like, hey, I don't want anything long distance, and then nothing ever came of it, that was him telling you like, hey, cool that we reconnected, I don't want anything to do with you romantically.
You're absolutely correct, and that's the hard truth is that
Because guess what?
if he
Different person he's into, he's starting a long distance relationship, whether they're San Francisco to New York.
Yes, that's correct.
When somebody wants to date you, they want to date you.
Yep, and I just don't have anything really better to say than that. Is if somebody's not into long distance and they're telling you that, that is because they're not as into you.
I mean,
And that's
he
just
also
how it
could
is.
not be in long distance, but like,
I don't think anybody's like loves long distance, but yeah, I think that's just a case here where you just need to step back a little bit.
yeah, sorry.
Next one.
Yeah.
Hi, Brett and Sally. Love the podcast and washed. Thank you. I'll get right into it. In February, my husband left a job at a startup after working there for 3 years. He was consistently working 60 to 80-hour weeks and felt like he needed a break, which is totally fair, and I supported his decision to get some well-earned rest. However, 9 months later, he is no closer to finding a new job and quite honestly doesn't seem that bothered by it. When I occasionally ask him what he's interested in doing next, he'll keep saying generic things like, yeah, I'm working on my resume or putting out feelers, and then we'll quickly change the subject. I totally understand that he needed some time to unwind from his previous job, and I don't want to add pressure to the situation, but honestly, I find it concerning that he won't talk to me about it and isn't actively applying or networking. I'd even understand if he told me, like, hey, I need a little more time to decompress from startup life, but my goal is to have a job again in the next 6 months. He's mentioned a couple times that he doesn't know what he wants to do next, and I feel badly that as that's a tricky situation to be in, and I'm not sure what to do to help him figure that out. becoming increasingly frustrated by his lack of initiative to take the next step, especially as I work from home in a one-bedroom apartment, and he is around a lot. Here's some additional context. He has enough money to save to pay rent, groceries, etc., and he's good about doing a lot of the grocery shopping, cooking, and chores while I'm busy during the week, which I do appreciate. So it's not a situation where he's not contributing financially or with home tasks. My question: is it reasonable to have a tough love conversation and push him to make a plan, or should I leave this up to him? I'm not trying to be overbearing, but as someone who likes to plan, I'm getting fed up. It makes me sad that he won't clearly communicate and keeps brushing me off. Any tips on how to approach this with him are greatly appreciated.
Rough.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Two things. This is about one, him not having a job, but also it's about communication.
That's what we talk about on this podcast all the time.
Okay. If you, I don't know, this is how my relationship works. Maybe this isn't the case for everybody. If the one person that's in your life that's like married to you, your partner, they're with you for the long haul, 24/7, 365 for the rest of your lives, can't be open to you about what their hopes and dreams are, that's an issue. Okay.
Houston, we have a problem.
So, I mean, she recognizes that.
Sure.
Obviously, there is some stuff going on with him, but absolutely a little come to Jesus, tough love intervention is in order. Okay.
Mhm.
Because if he's telling anybody, it should be you, his wife.
Correct.
Okay. So sitting him down and being like, I don't know what's going on, but like, I need you to tell me how you feel about XYZ. I realized that leaving the startup was necessary and that you wanted a break. What's your plan? And you obviously don't want to come out like attacking him, but being like,
No.
it's hard for me to like understand where your head's at because we never really have a full conversation about it. Like, do you need more time? That's fine. I'm here to support you, whatever you want. But I need to kind of know where you're coming from so that I don't sit here and resent you.
Yes.
Conversations like this are really difficult. A lot of times the person can feel attacked. It's a great time to employ a third party. I'm talking about a couples
Therapist.
counselor. Some people are not as open to that, but I also feel like this could lead to some major problems in your marriage for multiple reasons. One, lack of communication on his part about like what his, goal is, supporting y'all in the long run, doing his part in the marriage. And it sounds like he's doing that for now, but like you can't just keep making money out of nowhere. Like you have to have a job eventually.
Sure.
Then you have the added problem of these people are around each other way too much because she works at home. He doesn't have a job, so he's at home. So everything he's doing is probably annoying the shit out of her. It's so easy to resent somebody when you're doing work and they're not.
Yes.
Like, it's so frustrating.
It
is like,
I know.
I think that was really hard for Will and I in the pandemic when my work hours got reduced. We weren't needed as much at the hospital.
Sure.
So I would be home for like a week and Will would be working and he would be like, oh my God, like you got to get out of my space. Like we were in a one bedroom apartment. It's really hard. You don't have another place to go. And especially during COVID, like I couldn't like leave.
No. And COVID, because I was going to say like one of the most attractive things to me is like ambition and drive and like that kind of thing. COVID erased all that. Like that doesn't, if somebody loses their job because of COVID and is home for 6 months, like that doesn't count to me, I guess. But now it's different.
Yeah, being cooped up in the same apartment, seeing each other every day, like there's a reason why people do like think about your own siblings or your best friends when you're around them so much you start just like bickering. It's the same for married couples. Like you need time apart, have other hobbies, have other interests, have different jobs so that you can come back and like enjoy each other's company instead of being stuck with that person all day.
Yeah, you're totally right.
But I think for her, explaining to him, like, out of everything, I need to know where your head's at so I can support you, right?
Correct. Yeah. Let's take 2 steps back to move a step forward. Like, let's not talk about the job. Let's not talk about your plans. Let's talk about, like, where are you at right now in your
Right.
like, where's your headspace? So then we can then we can move forward. Like, do you want a job? And
Right.
if he's like, "No, I don't want a job." Like, is that where this is coming from? Or is he embarrassed by that he can't find one? Is there
Right.
a bruised ego that the startup didn't, result in a financial windfall that they don't need to worry about working anymore? Is there some sort of like, what is the underlying so that we can
Address it and move
address
forward.
that and move forward accordingly? Like, is there a lack of options? Is he worried about money? Is he getting in his own head about, because I'm thinking just from a guy's standpoint here, there's a lot of ego involved in being unemployed. There's a lot of like, um, I'm better than this job, so I'm not going to take it because I should be making this $400,000 job, but I'm not going to take this $80,000 gig because I'm like I'm above that. Like, I could
Right.
see that happening, especially in a startup world. So I think it's you need to kind of figure out, and this is where the tough love conversation comes in: is what lane is he in?
Yeah.
Is this a mental thing? Is this an ego thing? Is this a motivation thing? Is there something deeper? Is he having a fight with his parents, or like, is what's going on here? And then we can kind of pick the lane.
I
Is he
think
too comfortable? Is he I don't know. I hesitate to just say, oh, I'm good on savings for like a while.
yeah.
But how that's just taking your savings away. So you're living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Maybe you want a house or a 2-bedroom apartment, and that's
Or a child.
gonna right. Yeah.
Um, okay. Here's my advice. First of all, identify how you feel about it and write it down in some sort of like, whether it's a note on your phone or actually on pen and paper, but like you have to identify your feelings first. So,
Okay.
like you were just saying, like, what are your actual feelings surrounding his job and why is it bothering you?
Yeah. Are you mad? Are you unattracted to him? Is
Yeah.
it
Is
right?
it like identify all of those things? Like, you're worried about him, you want to support him. You're a little bit resenting him that he's not working and you are. You're in each other's space too much and you need time apart during the day so that you can like actually have a good relationship. You're worried about his lack of ambition, that's unattractive to you. All
Okay.
of those things, okay, just write down any thought you have about it.
Mhm.
Then you're going to turn it into a template for a conversation that doesn't seem super harsh, like you're coming at him from all angles. Like, I think you're a piece of shit and I'm unattracted to you because you don't have any ambition and you're in my space too much, because that's just going to make him feel attacked.
Sure.
So you're going to write down all those things. Then you're going to come up with some talking points. And then you're going to approach him.
Yeah.
Now, I think what you said is like going back to him, first of all, being like, where's your head at? Tell me everything you feel about this surrounding. And then depending on how that conversation goes, it's either going to lead to more conversations. As I said, I always think having a third party available is a very good spot. So
Mhm.
if it becomes super heated and you need to step back and say like, okay, let's take some time and like take a break from this so that we can not be screaming at each other and like create a fight. Or I think that we should see a couples counselor so that we can talk about this in like a very productive way. That's the hard part about having these conversations with somebody is your feelings are very easily misconstrued to someone else as like attacks.
Sure.
And that is
Absolutely.
like the basis of all fights is like someone says something and the other person switch tracks it and says, "Oh, you said that you are okay with me doing groceries or whatever, but like now I just feel like you've totally relegated that role to me and you're just diminishing me or whatever."
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
people will turn around stuff in their head however they want, and you have to be very clear with what your feelings are. So identifying your own feelings first, keeping an open communication, but that's why I always think having someone else available, a professional who could say like, that's okay, hold on, Matt, that's not what Sarah meant. Like,
Mhm.
whatever. Um, But identify what you feel first. Have a tough love conversation with him. Let him know that you support him. If it starts getting heated, take breaks. But for me, this is a, I mean, you're married, but like, this is a deal breaker for me. I would be upset. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm not trying to tell her how to feel, but this is worth having a conversation for, because your husband and wife, if it was like your boyfriend, you're like, okay, like, we cannot do this because I'm not going to marry somebody who's like this.
Yeah.
Or your roommate or your brother or whatever. Like, those relationships you don't have to be as aggressive about because there's other people involved. But like, this is your partner.
Totally.
They affect your future. So
you're literally
your
connected.
happiness is tied to their happiness.
Yeah.
Your future is tied to theirs. Your, all of your wins and losses are together. So yes, if you have a problem with it and it's been eating at you, you have got to talk to him about it.
Agreed.
Good luck.
Good luck. Do you know what I don't have a problem with, though?
What?
My footwear.
Wow.
Sally, because Rothy's is the most comfortable shoe that I own, straight out of the box, no doubt. Rothy's has been a partner in crime, a wingman, a buddy, a friend in need for the years at this point that Rothy's has been supporting us. Say goodbye to the break-in period. You usually have to go through with other shoes. Their soft, flexible material and wildly comfortable insoles make them one of the most wearable shoes right out of the box. And if dirty sneakers are your greatest pet peeve, well, then rest easy. Because Rothy's shoes are 100% machine washable thanks to their sustainably made material, so you never have to worry about dirtying them up. They're knit with 100% recycled materials, and even the sneaker laces are made from recycled single-use plastic bottles. And now Rothy's just launched 2 brand new sneaker styles, the RS-02, which is a more relaxed lace-up that's like a t-shirt for your feet, and the City slip-on sneaker, a refined luxe slip-on, finally in a men's size range. No wonder Rothy's best-selling men's shoes get a 5-star review from almost every customer. You're a fan of Rothy's too, right?
I love them.
Love my Rothy's. The white with the gum soles and the blue accent, style them up, style them down, really doesn't matter, and they just look good. And their fall line is unbelievable too. They have these like wool kind of driving loafers. Like, are you kidding me? Look absolutely phenomenal. They've been a wedding shoe staple of mine, especially like a beach wedding that I went to this year. And I'm checking out these RS-02s now, the new ones. Oh, clean as can be. I might have to get those navy ones right off the bat. Anyway, Rothy's is amazing sneakers. Everybody knows that. 2 classic new styles that I talked about, and you can throw them in the wash if they get dirty.
That's the best part.
Can't beat it. This season, find out why people fall hard. See what they did there? For Rothy's. With new shoes, bags, and more for everybody, you can snag something for yourself or someone you love. Here's how. For a limited time, get $20 off your first purchase at rothys.com/mail. That's $20 off at rothys.com/mail. Sally, before we get out of here, do you have any shower thoughts?
Do you have any shower thoughts?
I have 2.
Okay, you go with yours first.
Okay, number 1, new T Swift album dropped. I don't know if you knew about that.
Did I?
I was thinking about the marketing of Taylor Swift and how her last couple albums, she's kind of gone and as this shift to like this cottagecore, like autumn core has taken over in this country and like this cultural thing.
Yeah.
She's right there with it. She's owning the dreary fall sweater weather days.
Okay.
And it started like she's just autumn breeze falling down, like, hair and breeze. Like, she is owning this season with her music as the cultural shift from like, I don't know, like 80s was like beach culture and fun and summer and cocaine. And now we are like sad and divided. So it's like fall and, like cold and cottagey, and Taylor Swift is right there with it. I just think it's such a smart
Well, she's
way
always
to do her
released
music,
albums in the fall.
which makes sense. When people are at their like angstiest and
Even
moodiest.
her like poppy stuff was released in the
Really?
fall. Yeah.
I see. I'm
As a true TS girl.
Swiftie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Most of her albums were released like in September, October, November.
And it's so smart because people are like summer music is kind of either classics or upbeat and new. Like Taylor Swift just owns the season.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. My shower thought was just thinking about like how smart is she to keep up with this, like what is going on culturally.
We could do like a full deep dive podcast about it. Maybe I will do one on Patreon, but like literally, I mean, as a lyricist and singer, entertainer, I think she's very smart. I know people have their thoughts about her. I think people maybe give her too much credit. They like think that she's doing all these cryptic things that are like all woven together over years and years and years. I do think she does some of that, but I think that maybe now her fans and the like presence of social media and how many things are available to, you know, the average consumer via the internet now, people like are like, oh my God, she wore this outfit and Scooter Braun's wife wore these two outfits and it was a mix of those two outfits and she's calling out Scooter Braun. Like, I don't think she's that purposeful in everything she does. I think that like people are just making it happen.
I think she leans into it though.
But she leans into it. She owns it. Like, and as somebody who's like always been pretty dramatic, like I feel like she really, when she was 13 and like writing her first albums and doing all of that, like she has grown up, but she's kept that same sense of like calling people out on her away message. You know what I'm saying? Like
sure,
subtly, not so subtly. Like I love that. I love the like the dig that like we clearly know are about certain people, but like she's not gonna straight up say like Scooter Braun, you suck. Like she's just gonna like continue to reference him. And like that's the kind of like 13-year-old girl shit I live for. Like I personally love a good like
petty
tweet that's just like, hey, you fucked me over, but I'm gonna say it in my tweets and then people will definitely know that I'm talking about you, but like
it's like you didn't actually say it, but people have to put the pieces together. It's like leaving
and I know that that's like a little childish and dramatic, but like
that's her
who
brand.
Doesn't love being a little childish and dramatic?
I saw this tweet. It said Taylor Swift fandom is QAnon for people who are a pleasure to have in class.
Yeah.
And I was like, nailed it. That's fantastic. No, I'm less of like a fan of the lyricist Taylor Swift. Mostly, and music in general for me has always been more about the melodies and hooks. I could care less about like people love this song just the lyrics. I'm like, that song stinks. Because I don't get hooked. I don't earworm. I don't, there's nothing about it. And that's kind of, we're talking about this album. There's a lot of bops.
Yeah.
And no bangers for me.
I will listen to them. The more that I'm listening to it, the more I'm a fan.
I'm not a fan. Yeah.
First listen through, I was like, this might not be her best work. Second listen through, the more I listen, the more I'm into it.
Yeah. And that's, and I'm still listening to it. Listened to it in the car this morning. A lot of bops, a lot of nod. No, a little shimmer and then Bejeweled. Great little part. But then I put on Cruel Summer and I was like, oh, if this song was on the album, it would be like, everybody would be going crazy about it.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, I don't see a single on this one. I don't know. I like it, but it's just boppy and it's great for the winter, the fall.
So Cruel Summer is your T Swift banger.
Oh, Cruel Summer is a banger. And it never got the credit that it should have.
Yeah. It's an under the radar banger.
It is. Speaking of music, I'm also very happy with the new, like kind of the pop punk resurgence that's going on. And not just like alternative music, but people actually getting back into the like, oh, I chimed in. Haven't you people ever like the angsty side of pop punk? I don't know.
Do you want to
Maybe
keep
I'm just nostalgic.
That,
I can if you'd like. My other thought, Sally, before we jump out of here, is that the Merriman Spooky Monster Bash is this weekend.
I'm aware.
Just want to say there's a lot of hype for a certain cheese ball that
I'm
Randy's
gonna
making.
just put this out there right now. It's Wednesday morning. I do not have a costume yet.
I don't want to name names, but somebody at this company might have told us that and said you are on Brick Watch for the costume.
I don't care if I brick watch. I don't give a shit. To be honest, I might not even dress up.
Sally just shows up to my apartment. That's like I'm a mom.
Okay, here's the deal. Like I put a lot of thought into Fritz's costume. I'm on call that day. There's a chance I like show up in scrubs legitimately from call, and I'm just like, I don't care.
That's fine.
Sorry. I'm gonna go raid a friend's costume closet later, but like I just am feeling very uncreative, and no one wanted to do my sexy baby costume with me. So
got it. Sexy. Oh, T Swift.
Because everybody's a sexy baby.
You could be a cat and just be like, I'm Karma.
Yeah, no. So there's a chance I literally show up in like sweatpants and a t-shirt, and like not ironically, that's just what I'm gonna be wearing.
You gonna play Flip Cup with us?
Sure.
Let's go. I'm looking at my appetizer list right now. It's gonna be a banger.
I think Will and I are gonna do a little date night pre.
I know he said that.
Possibly carve.
Oh, okay. I heard there was carve or Ranch 616 in the mix.
Ranch 616 is already reserved. So.
Oh, okay. The worry with carve, and Dave mentioned this too, because it's literally 7 feet from my apartment, so it was kind of everybody's staging area to get a glass of wine or two.
Yeah.
Not as costume friendly as perhaps the Ranch 616. If you have something that you're really going for, like I do, like Randy does, like Dave does, it's tough to wear a costume.
So do you know what everyone's being?
A few people, yeah.
Okay.
People don't know what I'm being, but
I don't.
Randy, I told Randy drunk, didn't
I know that I'm not going to be the best costume, so like my give a shit is really low. And not that I'm like not excited for the party, but I'm more excited for the party than the costume. So I'm like, I'm not going to be up there.
Does the whole costume, like couples costume thing, kind of hit a little less when you're married? And
no, if there was like a good couples costume, I would be down.
Okay.
But like, again, I'm not that creative. And when somebody had like asked Lily and I a couple weeks ago about cool couples costumes and like topical stuff, I'm like, I don't even fucking know what's cool. So like,
yeah,
I mean, not that would be like snarky and fun and like a cool couples costume.
Right.
So I'm gonna maybe wear like a tiger zip up.
There you go.
You
heard it here first.
Furry or whatever they're called.
Sally's gonna be a tiger. That's gonna do it for the Mail On Podcast. Sally, thank you to all who listened. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Adam, for cutting this up. Please subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, and tell a friend about the podcast. Hit the hotline number 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail On Podcast. Sally, where can the people find you?
Sally deFries on Instagram and Twitter, and Sally Young on Venmo. I'm just kidding.
There you go. I am Schmerman, at Schmerman on both of those platforms. Happy Halloween. Next time we record will be after Halloween, so have fun. Be safe. Check for drugs in your kids' candy. Because apparently drug dealers are giving it away for free.
Yeah, they're giving out fentanyl.
Right. And Skittles. And there's an Adderall shortage now, so maybe it's all in Skittles bags.
Yeah.
Check that out. See you guys next week.
Bye.